Hey guys, welcome to the IroncladLion channel. I'm a new content creator for Conqueror's Blade and look forward to making more videos like this one very soon. So, this video is all about the Poleaxe, why it's my favorite weapon, and why it could be yours as well. Whether you're thinking about picking up this awesome weapon, or if you want some advice on which skills and attributes to go for, we'll be covering all of that in this video. First, we'll take a look at how the Poleaxe fits into Conqueror's Blade, attribute points and equipment, a skills and rune breakdown, followed by clips of the Poleaxe in the field. If you want to skip any of these sections, links are down below and I'll have the video segmented accordingly. The Poleaxe is a unique, two-handed hybrid weapon, designed to breach plate armor of men-at-arms by combining the reach of a polearm with the devastating power of an axe. The length of a Poleaxe was recommended to be roughly the user's height, with the haft between 5 to 7 feet in length, or roughly 1.82 meters. As for fighting with the Poleaxe, it could not only be used for hacking at your opponent, or stabbing with the spike at the end, but could also be used to hook and trip them mid-combat as well, something we luckily get to see in the abilities of the Poleaxe in Conqueror's Blade. A quick note: while similar in design, the Halberd which we see used in Conqueror's Blade by the Halberdier unit is much longer in design, and was intended to be used in formation, unlike the Poleaxe, which was designed for dismounted knights to be used in single combat. In Conqueror's Blade, the Poleaxe is classed as a heavy weapon, and so has access to heavy armor, making it a very resilient class. While slow to swing, the Poleaxe can deliver devastating damage to groups of units, and is excellent at disabling enemy heroes. A true frontline class, the Poleaxe can take a beating and provide great protection for your units. Watch out though, as the Poleaxe lacks any kind of escapability, meaning you are committed to a fight once you go in. For Poleaxe, your primary attributes will be strength and armor. Since the Poleaxe does mostly slashing damage, a majority of the Poleaxe's abilities will scale with strength. Your other primary attribute will be armor, and using it to maximize the effectiveness of your heavy armor. You'll want to avoid agility and toughness. Agility does not scale well with the Poleaxe, and will be boosting our health with runes rather than the toughness attribute. More on that later. For a standard Poleaxe player, a 50-50 split between strength and armor is a solid choice, and is what I did for my first 200 games with the Poleaxe. Having spent quite a bit of time now with the Poleaxe, I redistributed my points into a 100% armor build. I find the huge boost in survivability to be better for staying on the front line longer, rather than delivering damage in bursts. Even without any extra points in strength, I find I'm still doing great damage regardless. You may decide how to distribute your points as you wish, but if you are committed to the Poleaxe, I recommend putting all points into armor, as it has very significant advantages which I'll demonstrate later in the video. As for equipment, you have access to heavy armor, which provides excellent defense, and with the Poleaxe, you really don't need to have the fanciest stuff to be an asset on the battlefield. As of this video, I've got an epic Punisher which I brought from the market for some silver, and managed to recondition my bracers into an epic version. Otherwise, you'll see I've got a very regular, rare guardsman set, which gives a nice set bonus to my health and armor. But, like I said, nothing too fancy here. You can very easily Poleaxe on a budget. Now for the juicy bits, the skills. Poleaxe skills focus on controlling your opponent's movements through knockdowns and debuffs, while also featuring devastating damage abilities that can hit multiple targets. Going from top to bottom, we have the old Bill Hook, which not only pulls your opponent towards you, but knocks them to the ground and slows them by 40% for 6 seconds. While rather hard to land, it can very easily lead to a kill by pulling an enemy out of position. While not as effective on units, it is an excellent choice for killing enemy heroes. Bec de Corbin is the Poleaxe's most damaging normal ability, featuring a wide sweeping attack that can cleave a unit in half or hit multiple heroes. Each consecutive hit will additionally reduce any target's defense by 20%, leaving whoever is still alive extremely mortal. I highly recommend this being one of the first abilities that you level, as the damage combined with its debuff is brutal. Next we have Weapon Dance, the most anime move the Poleaxe has access to. Slamming the ground with your haft, who doesn't love that? While not particularly damaging, the debuff is extremely powerful, reducing the enemy's attack by a massive 40% and reducing movement by 25% for 5 seconds. Like the other Poleaxe skills, Weapon Dance has a significant area of effect, and affects units and heroes alike. This ability is especially useful in disarming dangerous units on the front line of their damage potential. Halberder's Thrust, a 2-hit skill that will cause bleed damage on the second hit. This is the most underwhelming skill of the Poleaxe kit, and can safely be avoided in the skill tree. While the bleed can assist in killing heroes, the ability provides no utility or debuffs, and is overshadowed by the Poleaxe's many other useful abilities. Pushback, an essential in the Poleaxe kit, is the ultimate control counter ability. While not only knocking an enemy to the ground, Pushback also removes the dazed effect from yourself. You can very effectively turn a losing fight around with a well-timed pushback, knocking the enemy to the ground and getting back on your feet at the same time. Did I mention you can hit multiple heroes with it? Absolutely essential. Grim Harvest is an ability I've especially become fond of recently. A 2-hit skill with both hits reducing enemies' block, and dealing significant damage in a short amount of time. It has the added benefit of removing daze, getting you back on your feet, and applying pressure to the enemy. I've been especially enjoying this ability at higher levels as it deals blunt damage, which makes it especially effective against heavily armored units. Saving the best 2 abilities for last, the first, and my preferred ultimate skill of the Poleaxe, is Rough Justice. One of the only 2 abilities currently in the game that can completely lock down an opponent, Rough Justice is absolutely brutal. While only able to target a single opponent, it almost guarantees their demise by preventing any kind of counter attack, while laying on some thick damage. I love it. I absolutely love it. Lochaber's Strike is the second ultimate skill of the Poleaxe, and an excellent ability for those who love fighting on the front line. It knocks opponents to the ground, removes daze, and can dismount enemy heroes from horseback. Striking a total of 5 times, each hit has the potential to knock down 1 or more opponents. And the angle of the attack can be adjusted throughout the entire animation, making it very flexible. However, since you don't cover much ground with the attack, make sure you position yourself appropriately before activating it. So those are the main Poleaxe skills. Now for the 3 other attacks. That is, the primary attack chain, the sprinting stab, and the horse dismount attack. The normal attack chain consists of 4 attacks: left swing, right swing, hook, and overhead. The first 2 sweeping attacks will do moderate damage while covering a wide area, while the third attack, the hook, will pull enemies towards you. The final overhead swing does the most damage and will finish the chain. You can roll out of this chain at any time and mix in your abilities to shake things up, like adding in the bill hook after the pull to really pull your opponents out of position. The Poleaxe has a sprinting stab, and while it does have decent reach, it does not maintain momentum well, so you will generally only get a single stab in on a fleeing enemy. The Poleaxe dismount attack is an incredibly powerful initiation tool. While the movement is slow, the attack angle can be adjusted throughout the animation, delivering the crushing blow wherever you desire. The attack will knock down any enemy unit or hero that doesn't have their guard up, and has a rather massive area of effect. This makes it easy to knock down half a unit or several enemy heroes at once. Runes, baby. Runes. Introduced in Season 7, runes offer customization options for armor and weapons. I don't know how runes will change between the seasons, so I'll keep this section brief. For Poleaxe, I'd recommend slotting as many health and damage reduction runes as possible to take advantage of all the attribute points and armor we have. Combining both health and armor will give us a very healthy hero, who can stay on the front line a long time. As for the specific Poleaxe runes of this season, I'm using the Weapon Dance Epic Heal rune, which heals for a massive 20% of your health over 5 seconds, and only increases the cooldown by 2 seconds. I have played quite a few games with the Legendary rune, which gives you immunity to crowd control effects for 5 seconds, but overall felt the Heal rune was more impactful in the games I've played. I'm also using the Pushback Charge rare rune, which turns pushback into a nice initiation skill. We've gone through the entire Poleaxe kit. Now how do we put it all together? Like I said before, Poleaxe is a class about controlling your enemy's movement and inhibiting their ability to fight back, with large AoE skills. Used effectively, the Poleaxe will leave little room for your opponents to recover. Here, we have a longsword user who has decided to chase us on horseback. While he gets a few swings in, our heavy armor prevents any kind of significant damage. Finally away from the front line, we take this opportunity to use our dismount attack forward, 180, and knock the longsword from his horse. From there, Beck to Corbin for damage and to reduce his defense. Bill Hook to put him on the ground and reduce his movement. Once he rolls away, we hit him with a pushback, knowing he can't move. One last Bill Hook, and now with all our regular abilities on cooldown, we'll take one swing and immediately follow with Rough Justice. While this Nadachi player hopped in to help us, there was no help needed. Never should have come here. Next example comes from Territory War, where the enemy has a Fort Brachio pikeman unit stopping our cavalry from charging in. With a Poleaxe, we have incredible initiation ability, and with a quick sidestep around the braced pikemen, we dismount right behind them and boom, pikes are on the ground. With the formation broken, we carve up the unit with Beck to Corbin, and our friendly cavalry come charging in. Before the enemy spear hero can flee, justice is delivered. To really highlight the full armor Poleaxe playstyle, we'll be jumping into a full unit of condottieri guards. I've got my pikemen nearby, which we'll be using in just a second. The enemy hero comes back and tells his unit to attack at will. Then he knocks me to the ground, hoping to finish me off. What he doesn't realize is he just activated my pushback trap card, getting me back on my feet and putting him in the dirt. I weapon dance and get back to my pike unit, which his guards have been busy impaling themselves on. Now vulnerable, I lock him down with Rough Justice and tell my pikes to attack at will. The Poleaxe is a tanky class. That being said, it's important to work with your unit, to both protect them and for them to provide you with damage when you disable enemy heroes. I wasn't able to kill the shortbow, but as I look around, I notice a longsword trying to take a swing at my pikemen. This was a fatal mistake on their part, and I imagine they were thinking something like this.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
The Poleaxe pairs well with units that have high damage potential. Muskets, instead of archers for example, can provide excellent close fire support, while you focus on putting heroes on the ground and keeping the enemy team occupied. As you see here, I'm not trying to kill either of these heroes myself, rather I'm just stalling them while my muskets do the real damage. Here in Allenberg, I've chosen to go through the side gate with my muskets to start putting pressure on the final objective. Pressed for time, I hop right onto the point and immediately start doing what I can to control enemy movements. Despite my best efforts, my allies are nowhere near as durable as I am and get cut down on the objective. While I'm not doing a ton of damage, my mere presence is putting pressure on the enemy and forcing them to bring their units out into the open. I back my muskets up briefly to protect them against the potential javelin toss, but bring them back as soon as it's clear. Having forced a good portion of the enemy team to retreat, our team is able to move onto point and get aggressive. My objective is to deny any kind of counterattack before it can take shape. With a very effective lockdown, we take out an enemy hero before they have a chance to harm our team. A Maul tries to delay our capture, but once isolated, is quickly dealt with by our fire support. Having no further heroes to deal with, we capture the flag, and Allenberg is ours. Now let's say you had a charging unit. Instead of pushing in behind your unit like most weapons, Poleaxe should push in front of the unit and keep your target locked down within the path of the charge. While I'm almost knocked away by the two heroes, a well-timed pushback sends them both into the path of the Shield Maiden charge. This leaves an easy cleanup with Beck to Corbin.
But Ironclad, I don't have Shield Maidens.
Okay, fair enough. How about Woodcutters? This isn't a defense we can easily brute force, as Applesauce quickly finds out. We'll take a step back and call in Treb support, making sure it hits just right. Seeing our big brain bow user fall quickly, the enemy longsword user discovers that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Treb shots now splashing, we charge our woodcutters through the fire. I try to initiate with a pushback, but get knocked down by musket bombs. Seeing an opening, I go straight for the vulnerable muskets, and Beck to Corbin through a swath of them. With the muskets dealt with, only the spear and musket hero remain. With a handful of woodcutters, do we go for it? Ha, that's a silly question. Of course we do.
Woodcutter charge, let's go!
Initiating with pushback to both heroes, then weapon dance to reduce counterattack damage. Woodcutters still chopping while I'm on the ground. A quick roll, then rough justice to lock down and eliminate the spear. The musket fires a point-blank scattershot, but we don't care, we lean into it and hit him with a pushback. The musket hero at the edge, the Chad Woodcutter with the killing blow, while the virgin berserkers watch. This doesn't look like a situation you'd want to jump into, but we need to save our bow ally, who somehow ended up in the middle of the fight. We're out of units, and we need to hold this point. So what do? We stop the enemy from killing our heroes, and the few units our team has left. In this situation, we need to use our abilities wisely and watch our positioning, and above all, don't die. Big pushback, putting 4 enemy heroes on the ground. We need to do whatever we can to reduce the enemy's fighting ability. Beck to Corbin, roll out. Run back in. Weapon dance, roll out. Spotting a clump of enemy heroes, we go for the big push. Killing 2 and toppling a 3rd. The enemy crippled, they have no choice but to retreat, and the game is ours. Our final example is using our Poleaxe to defend our unit of muskets. We see a group of berserkers coming up the stairs, and I have to move quickly to get the muskets out in time. I use myself to body block the berserker rush ability. A terrifying concept, but it works great, and the berserkers are now unable to catch the muskets. Now at a safe but effective distance, I order my musket unit to return fire. I manage to catch a berserker outside, which draws the enemy short sword hero out. While this is a very dangerous game I'm playing, our Beck to Corbin combined with the musket fire takes out several Zerkers and the enemy short sword. With a little help from another friendly Poleaxe, our muskets are safe and the berserkers are dealt with. As for Poleaxe drawbacks, the attacks are slow, and it lacks any escape abilities, so positioning correctly will be the difference between life and death on the battlefield. Single target damage is also limited, so killing an opponent by yourself can take some time. The Poleaxe makes up for this by being able to hit multiple targets at once, and being able to disarm enemy heroes and units of their damage. The ultimate crowd controller, I recommend it to anyone who wants a really fun, unique weapon. Like this Poleaxe guide? Hit that like button, and subscribe for more Conqueror's Blade content. Have any questions, or think I missed something? Comment down below. I want to hear all that feedback. I'll be making more Conqueror's Blade videos soon. Let me know what you want to see. I hope everyone had fun and learned a lot about the Poleaxe. Links are also down below if you want to follow me on Twitter or want to join my gaming group on Discord. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.